There it is, the Scag Tiger Cat with the bagger on, just as I picked it up this morning. I'll be going over that later in the video. Full thing. Alright, well, quickly I have this sped up to speed number 2. Bam! Bumped the fence there with the bagger, see? Still getting used to it, getting used to having it on there. It looks like it's bouncing around like crazy because I have the video sped up, but it's actually not the case. It's not bouncing around like that at all. But you guys have seen this property before. It's been in the videos. It's been, I think, in the first mow of the season videos. I've done a bunch of times, but this is the first lawn that I mowed with it today after I picked it up from the dealer. Definitely a fan. It is definitely doing exactly what I thought it would. Now this grass here isn't that tall, maybe 4.5 inches tall, and I was only cutting it down to 3.5. So it's not, I think 3.5, maybe 3.25. I don't know, but I wasn't taking that much off, so didn't really put the bagger to the test. On the next lawn that I do, which I didn't film, but I'll go over that with you, and you'll see a picture of it. That's the lawn that I really wanted to put it to the test on, and it definitely proved to do exactly what I wanted it to do. So I'm not going to complain. I'm happy with it. I'm loving the way this bagger's working out, and hopefully it does just as well with leaves, which I have no doubts. My buddy has the same bagger on a Ferris, and I know what his does.
So there you have it. There is the Scag Tiger Cat. I ended up picking it up this morning at 7:30. It was done. It came with a really long tube on it, and if you're looking at the front of the mower, the tube went out and then back into the bagger. So I knew that was going to be an issue in the trailer because the way I have my blowers and trimmers and all this stuff hanging straight down, y'all have seen that before. So I had them cut that tube so it comes from the blower straight up to the bagger. For two reasons. One, because of that, because it would have been in the way and it would have hit stuff, pulling it onto the trailer. And two, I think with that loop out and back up to the bagger, I think you're adding more resistance for the grass to shoot up in there. So coming out of the blower up into the bagger, if it's got a straight shot up in there, just in my mind anyway, I think that's much more efficient. I think it's going to work a lot better. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Look at that dude. There's this dude. I'm not going to unmount the camera. There's a guy that just went by on a Harley Sportster, and he's got the rack on the back. They used to call it a sissy bar. He's got it on the back, and up against that he's got a small 1-gallon gas can bungee to it. Probably going to get a little bit of gas for his mower. Whatever you gotta do, right? But anyway, so I love it. It works great. I mean, there wasn't that yard that I just cut there. Y'all have seen me cut it a million times with a million different mowers. I think at one point I actually did a video on that saying the first lawn of the season. That may have been with the Great Dane stander. I know I filmed the Great Dane there one time. But yeah, so that lawn there it didn't have very much growth, but it's still pretty neat to try it out anyway. Man, it is loud with that blower on there. I can, with my beats on, I can barely hear the mower running. But with that turbine on, I can definitely hear it. It sounds like a helo, like a helicopter propeller just going. Whoop, 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 whoop. Like it's nuts. It's pretty loud. Just got to get used to it. It's like riding with when I had the Exmark 0 turn or doing it with the Freedom Z. Got to get used to that bagger on there. I haven't mowed with a bagger since spring. So watching your turns and stuff to not whip around and smack the bagger off something. So. But I'm going to have some fun with it today. I'm actually going to 2 lawns now that I know are the last couple weeks I've had to, at least one of them anyway, I've had to double cut it like crazy, and still sometimes then I got to break it up with the bagger. It's always real damp in the morning there, and that it grows like crazy. He hasn't fertilized. It just grows like crazy anyway there. So I'm kind of excited to try it out on that one. I'm not sure if I'm going to film that one or not. They're usually home a lot, and I just don't think they would appreciate that. Some of my customers could care less. They think it's pretty neat that I film this stuff, but they're just not ones that I think they'd be cool with it. I don't see them having a problem, but I just don't know. And you know, because they have their lawn fertilized and it grows like crazy, I charge them a premium for that lawn, and they completely understand. They said, I didn't raise their price in 3 years, and then I raised it this year, and he told me to raise it. He says, listen, I see what you do with my lawn. I know what it looks like before you come. He goes, and I do all the fertilizing and water and everything because I like how it looks. He said, I think it'd probably be fair if you raise me up a little bit this year. I wish I had a lot more customers as understanding as him, but so yeah, so that's why I don't film his lawn usually. I think I may have filmed it once before. I know I've taken pictures of it and added that in the videos. So yeah, I may not, but I may film it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if anyone's home. But that's what I'm excited to try out, and we'll see how it goes. So this is that new camera again. There's some things that I really don't like about it. I mean, it's not bad. It does an alright job. It seemed like when I uploaded the videos last night, for one thing, when I plugged in the computer, there was like 50 videos on there, and I know I only recorded like 10. Every 3 minutes it would reset and stop and start recording another video, or every 2 minutes or something like that. So I went through the settings and I found out there was a thing in there called loop recording, and you can set it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And apparently what that does is every couple minutes it shuts off the film and starts another one automatically. So I turned that right off. There's a setting to shut that right off, which I did, so now I shouldn't have that problem. Another thing that I noticed, it seemed like the vocals, the sound was a little scratchy. It made my voice sound scratchy. It made it kind of sound a little distorted in some spots, whereas my GoPro doesn't do that. Probably just the quality. Obviously, you know, $200 I think I paid for my GoPro Hero with the LCD, and $36 for this one. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. The other thing is, when I hit the button on top to start or stop a video, it doesn't beep. And I went through the settings to try to find it where that would be, and there is audio settings in there, but none of it applies to that. And the thing I like about that beep is when I'm in the truck here and I have it in the mount and I want to stop recording a video, I just reach up and hit the button, I hear a beep, and I knew it stopped. And then when I want to start recording again, I just hit the button again, I hear a beep, I knew it started back up, and it had a little red light that flashed on the front. This one doesn't have that either. So every time I want to start and stop a video, I got to unclip it from the dash and turn it around and look at the screen on the back and hit the button and make sure the video starts or stops. And then, because I don't want all that in my video, once I download it, I got to play it through that part and wait till it gets back to where it's focused on me, and then do a split screen and edit that part out. I guess it's just little, maybe I'm being fussy, but it's just little, like, nitpicking, little quirk things that, you know, I had with the GoPro that I don't have with this. I did watch a bunch more GoPro videos last night on YouTube all over to find out guys different things about what they do with them. Sadly, 90% of them are the type of GoPros where you can just swap out the battery, so those didn't help me. I did find a few that were this style GoPro, so I checked those out, and I did all the things that they had done when they had the issue. None of it worked. I tried holding the power button for 10 seconds, letting go, and then hitting the power again to see if it turns on. I've tried plugging it and unplugging it from a computer I've tried pulling the SD card out, doing it that way as they said. I've used 5 different cords now, USB cords. It says it's got to make sure it's a certain amount of power, that type of cord. So I checked my cords and made sure it was. That didn't help either. I've tried from the plugs in my truck to wall outlets to plugging it direct to the computer. I've tried everything. Nothing works. For those of you guys that aren't up to speed on the GoPro saga, I used it constantly, and then I didn't use it for about a month, and it sat in the center console of my other truck, and then I grabbed it out of there to use it, and it wouldn't turn on. Every time I plug it in, the red light lights up in the front, which tells me it's charging, but I've had it charging for multiple days at a time, and the red light still never goes out. They say on a wall plug it should charge fully from dead in about 2 hours, and on a computer about 4 hours, which has been pretty much true to the fact, you know, the year or so that I've had this camera. That's how it's always worked. It always charges rather quickly. So days at a time of charging, and it just continuously keeps saying it's charging. So I went on to GoPro's website, I went to their tech support, I sent them an email, explained the whole situation to them, explained everything I did to them, because I know it can go back and forth. They'll say, try this, try this, try this. Well, just to kind of rule all that out, I told them everything I've already tried, so that they're not continuously going back and forth with me, telling me to try stuff that I've already done. We can just skip all that. So I did that this morning, about 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning. I was on the computer and I did that. And it says, they sent me a confirmation back, email back, saying that they will contact me within 1 to 2 days. So, I don't know. I guess I'll wait and I'll see what happens. Hopefully they have an answer for me. The GoPro is, I think it's about a year old, maybe barely a year old. I'm pretty sure I bought it last fall. So I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly, but I did buy it off eBay, and the eBay seller that I bought it off of, it said in his profile that he is an authorized dealer. So I'm hoping they don't, you know, give me crap on that. It's not like I bought it refurbished or anything like that. It was brand new, came new in the package. So I don't know, maybe if they can't help me to fix it, maybe they'll be very nice to me and just say, send it back to us, we'll send you a brand new one. That would be nice. I'm even willing to, even if they just say, send it to us, you have to pay the shipping, I'll pay the shipping. I just want my GoPro back. If nothing comes from it, I will just buy a new one, and then I'll just sight my bow in this year before bow season on this one. I'll put a frickin' 100-grain tip right through the center of that bastard, just because it irritates the crap out of me. But hopefully it won't come to that. Hopefully GoPro will treat me right and take care of me as a customer. We'll see what happens. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll get some more filming on this today, and I'm definitely going to put a piece on here where I'm actually going to walk around the Scag and show you guys what I bought. I don't think I actually did one yet on, you know, besides just telling you guys what model I bought, what I did. And I noticed in the video yesterday, I said I was going to explain why I got rid of that fuel cell, and I end up not explaining it. I don't know how that part slipped my mind. Somebody asked me about it in the comments, so I explained it in there. But just real quick, the reason I got rid of the fuel cell was the rotating crank pump on top kept giving me issues where it kept locking up. My first thought on it was, okay, maybe that pump was not rated for fuel and it ate the seals out of it. Wasn't the case. I did check it. It was rated for fuel. So I had another pump, brand new one in the box. I put that on. It worked the first few times, and then that one kept screwing up too. At one point I was out in the lawn, both mowers were almost empty. I had 28 gallons of fuel in that 30-gallon cell, and I couldn't even access the fuel, and that really pissed me off. So I had to go to a gas station and run the hose in the side door of the trailer and fill up one of the mowers, because it wouldn't reach both of them in the trailer. And that, and also the information I was given before was incorrect. I thought I was allowed to have that fuel cell. By law in New York State, even though it's a 30-gallon cell, I wasn't allowed to have any more than 10 gallons in it without a permit, because once you hit that 30 gallons, it's considered transporting fuel. So just to avoid all that garbage, I got rid of it. I gave it to my brother-in-law. He's going to use it for something, and I don't know. He's got the pump to use on the top of it. Just he's going to use it at his house for a diesel, for filling his backhoes and stuff. So I went to them 3 cans. I absolutely love them. They work out fine. They are working out fine, so I'm going to stick with that. But that's the case with that. Sorry I didn't explain that in the video yesterday like I said I was going to. But alright, I've been rambling long enough, so I'm going to get on to this next lawn. I will do the walk around on this Scag mower, and we'll go from there.
The 2016 Scag Tiger Cat. I got it with the 52-inch velocity deck. This is the bagger I had put on it. 3-bag system with the blower. So here's an extra strap around the tube there. They put that on just as extra protection. It's kind of zip tied around the main tube. So I'll leave it on there. I like it. Look at that. 5 suitcase weights on that bad boy. The Freedom Z only has 3 that go on the front. There's the dial. See, it's got the different numbers there for however much you weigh. You dial it in so that you have that absorption on the seat. There's the 52-inch Velocity Plus deck. Oh, the guard on the side there. I like that. I wish it was on the Freedom Z. Those are nice. Keep from marring it up. Yep, Tiger Cat. There's the controls. Very basic, very simple. It's Kawasaki FX 691V, 22 horsepower. I feel that it's more than enough. I'm not worried about it not being bigger. It doesn't bog down at all and seems to be great. So, follow along.
Okay, so that's the finished product. That's the front yard there. Front yard wasn't too bad. It was probably about 4.5 inches or so. I cut it down to 3 1/4. The backyard was about 6 inches, and I cut that down to 3 1/4, and it was very wet like it always is. The morning dew, plus their pump leaks from their pool. And I didn't even slow down. I wasn't full bore, but I cruised right along, and no issues at all. Bagger didn't clog up, nothing. It just ate right through it, and I gotta say, I'm impressed, very impressed. It did stuff that the bagger from the Scag, or from the Scag Freedom Z won't do. That one doesn't have a turbine. It just has the Scag and the Freedom Z just has the 8-inch tube. It doesn't have the turbine on it, and it will bag that thick wet grass, but you got to set the deck up higher, take it a little at a time, and go slow. This one here, I dropped it right down, went right through it, and didn't clog once, no issues. So gotta say I'm happy, very happy with it. One more test to do with this machine to find out if I'm truly happy with it, which I am so far, and this isn't even that big of a difference, but I like to run gator blades in the spring and in the fall for mulching up. So I did order a set. All the gator blades I've had in the past for all my mowers were 3-tooth up top. These ones have 4. Different brand, I guess, but I like that. So those are supposed to be here tomorrow, Wednesday. I'm going to try putting them on and see how well they do. I know the Freedom Z does not like gator blades. Anytime I run gator blades on it, it's not a fan. It doesn't cut that well at all. So that'll be the next test. We'll find out.
Just a little bit more mowing with the bag on there. I have the video sped up again. I'm trying to keep this video from being too long. I know there was a section there where I did a lot of talking, but hey, I had a lot to say. Anyway, you're going to see here, this is one thing. I'm going to try to finagle it and mess around with it. I got to figure out still. I like mowing with the ROPS down. The ROPS is what they call that rollover bar that's up there. It folds down. It doesn't fold down on the Freedom Z. This one does. I like to have it down. And you'll see the issue here. I started knocking some apples off these apple trees and they were falling down on me. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. It will fold down. The problem is when it's folded down, I can't lift the hood over the bagger to pull the bags out to empty them. So I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna have to fold it down and then flip it up real quick when I want to empty the bags out and go from there. Do it that way. It kind of seems like a pain in the nuts to me, but what are you going to do, I guess? That may be what I have to do. I don't really know. Because my bagger really isn't hitting anything. The bagger doesn't stick up that high, so it's more that rollover bar. But thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this long, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for following along, and sorry the video was so long. We'll see what tomorrow's brings.